In question 5, we're given a table, and along the side you have the name of the city, and along the top you have the temperature at midnight and at midday. And we're asked to find how much colder Paris was than Rome at midnight. Paris and Rome at midnight. I just want to highlight one point, that the unit for temperature is degrees Celsius. Now the temperature for Paris at midnight was -4 degrees Celsius, or -4. And the temperature for Rome was 3 degrees Celsius. And we can see that Paris is colder because it's -4. So if we did a thermometer line or a number line, there's 0, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And when you start going below 0, it'll be -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. And Rome is here, and Paris is here. So as you go down, it gets colder, and we want to know how much colder Paris is compared to Rome. So now the question is, how many jumps do we need to get to Paris? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer is Paris is 7 degrees Celsius colder or cooler than Rome. I want to highlight one thing, because they've said how many degrees Celsius Paris is colder than Rome, and that's the key word. We don't put down here -7 degrees Celsius. Because of the word colder, we don't need to write this minus. So I just wanted to highlight that. Because if you put -7 degrees Celsius, that would be wrong. That answer would be wrong. So just bear that in mind when you're doing this question. In the second part of the question, they've asked us to work out which city from Paris, Oslo, Rome, and Warsaw is 6 degrees colder at midnight than midday. So what I'm going to do is draw a number line. So there's our number line, the positive temperatures to the right, the negative temperatures to the left. So it's colder here and it's warmer there. So we want a city which is 6 degrees colder at midnight. So let's look at Paris. At midday, it's -2 or -2. And at midnight, it's -4. How do I get from midday to midnight? So I jump back 1, 2. So Paris is only 2 degrees colder. So we know it's not Paris. So let's try Oslo. It's -7 degrees Celsius at midday. And -7 is there. And if we go across, at midnight, it's -13 or -13. And that's there. Now let's find out how many degrees colder it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know Oslo is 6 degrees colder at midnight than it is at midday. And we can stop there. We don't need to do these. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these two other cities, Rome and Warsaw. So at midday, it's 10 degrees Celsius, and that is there. And at midnight, it's 3 degrees Celsius, and that is there. Now we need to work out the difference. 10 to 3. 10 take away 3. And again, you can either count on the number line, or you can do that in your head. And these are number bonds that you should know, and that should be 7. But let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 degrees. So Rome is no good to us. And finally, we'll look at Warsaw. So at midday, it's 2 degrees Celsius. So let's go there, put a little mark there. And at midnight, it's -6 or -6, and that's there. So let's count it first. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 degrees colder. So again, that's no good to us. So the only one that we want is Oslo. And this last one is tricky. Why? Because it goes over this 0 boundary. So you have 2 there and you have 6 there. So altogether you have 8. So bear this in mind.